Hey, thanks for choosing to watch this low-effort video about crap from '85. I'm gonna plug the Patreon before we start. $2 gets you into Discord and $5 gets you early access. Shout out to our new $2 patrons, Rhea Lexington and Abigail Roberts. Thanks for joining. If you want to get a shout out in the next video, click the link below. Okay, let's go. Alright, let's get into 1985. A year I have done before on this channel, but that was October. This is January or February or whatever. The point is, this is different. Anyway, we begin 1985 the same way we ended 1984. Loaded as fuck. Honestly, I can't say I recommend you watch this worst list because there wasn't a lot of bad stuff. I don't think I'm going to be cranking up the vitriol dial here, so if that's what you like to see, then go watch something else. The best list, on the other hand, I had way more contenders for, whereas this one, I don't even outright dislike most of the stuff I have on here. These are all going to be things that suck in one way or another, don't get me wrong, but in a worse year, some of them might not have even made my dishonorable mentions. But I know what gets the clicks on this platform, so screw it. Let's begin our trip to the wonderful world of 1985 with all the crap that probably had nothing to do with it. We're taking a look at... You got to hide it high. You got to jump and run. You got to hide it, hide it, hide. When it's almost the end of January and you still have your Christmas decorations up.
Oh, ho, ho! Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day! Hey, why don't you kids celebrate by taking a spin in my bounce house?
That was a funny moment in TV history. King of the Hill was such a great show. Anyway, here's a song you probably laughed at least once. It's Christmas time. There's no need to be afraid. This is only at number 10 because their hearts are at least in the right place. See, there was this devastating famine over in Ethiopia that claimed thousands of lives, many of them children. Boomtown Rats singer Bob Geldof saw a news story about this and got an idea. Get a bunch of rich people together in a recording studio and have them ask for money. And so began the scourge of the mid-80s known as the charity single. Look at all these A-list musicians getting together for the greater good. Phil Collins, Boy George, the guy from Duran Duran, Sting, Wham! Minus the other guy, a bunch of other recognizable names. The good people of Ethiopia will be eating this Christmas. Just a shame the only thing they'll be eating is a big bowl of slop. Let's not mince words. This may have good intentions, but it's stupid in just about every way imaginable. It's widely known as one of the worst Christmas songs ever made. People shit-talk it every time the season comes around. And when they do, there's one line in particular they always like to point out. Wow, fuck you, boner. Way to make me feel bad about my privileged life and my luxurious one-bedroom apartment and my oh-so-stable paycheck-to-paycheck job, but at least I'm not a starving child in Ethiopia. Fucking asshole. Look, I believe in helping the poor and all that, but charity singles ain't it. If you want to donate, do it literally any other way. And if you really want to help, do it in any month that isn't December. As a wise woman once said, don't save it all for Christmas Day. First one to correctly identify that wise woman gets their comment pinned. For those who thought the 80s were getting too totally tubular, Frankie said relax. Relax, don't you rest when you wanna go to rest. Yes, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, a British group with openly gay members who hit the top of the UK charts with a song about coming. caused a lot of controversy back then, of course. When you wanna go. So controversial that the BBC banned it during the time it was #1. This song goes pretty hard, in my humble opinion. They looked like they were going to be the next big thing for a while, and their follow-up topped the charts over in the UK as well. Yeah, about that follow-up.
When you hear the air attack warning, you and your family must take cover.
Okay, before we get to why I have 2 tribes on the worst list, I'm going to point out a few things I do like about it. Starting with that bass. I fucking love that sound. It's so gritty, like something I'd hear in a Sega Genesis game. And the video with Ronald Reagan versus Konstantin Chernenko in a prototype UFC fight, I think it's done really well. Also, the title, 2 Tribes, comes from a line in the beginning of Mad Max 2.
For reasons long forgotten, 2 mighty warrior tribes went to war.
That line was also referenced at the beginning of the Peel session. And then there's this line. That line really hits, not gonna lie. Just shows how futile war is. See, war is like that game Desert Bus. You spend hours and hours driving a bus through the desert, and when it's finally over, all you end up with is one measly point. Okay, it's not exactly like Desert Bus, but you get the point, right? Pun intended. With all that said, I should like this one, so what's it doing on the worst list? Well, I don't know. Maybe I should listen to it closer. Yeah, I'm still not feeling this. Something about this just isn't doing it for me, and I think it's the vocals. I'm not saying they're bad, he has a good singing voice, but it's just not sticking out, and I think it's because of the production. As much as I like it, I feel like it's a little too overwhelming. You got what sounds like a mighty epic, and he sounds like he's barely even trying to match it. Most of the time I can't even hear what he's saying because the music is so overbearing. By contrast, the Peel session that I mentioned earlier is superior. It's got a much better groove. May not have that killer bass sound, but everything is way more crisp and clear. There's not too much going on in the production, and the vocals are easier to hear. So if anything, it shows how much better this tune could have been. Which makes this studio version more of a disappointment. They were doing just a little too much and it ended up sounding like a mess. So the lesson here is, production matters. Oh boy, are you ready for one of the naughtiest songs of the 80s? Behold, a song so naughty, they had to name it twice. Yeah, I'll be honest, this isn't on the list because I hate it. I actually don't. It's only on here just because of how crass it is. I'm actually kind of impressed with it. Like, listen to this part and try not to chuckle a little. You could be laughing with it or at it. Either way, you're still laughing. Oh, you don't want to be naughty? What's the matter? Scared you might like it? I mean, look how fun this is. Yeah, naughty, naughty, very naughty.
As Gabbo would say, I'm a bad little boy.
I could have put this on the best list for lulz, but nah, that was already way past crowded enough. Stay tuned for that. Honestly, this big load of 80s kitsch feels more at home on the worst list. And there's gonna be some more of that coming up. But first we gotta stop Baboda before she turns into Mecha Streisand. Then again, this was the era of Transformers, and I can see Optimus Prime whooping Mecha Streisand's ass.
I don't wanna see your face answer his door.
Yep, that's Babs, telling you, anonymous female listener, that you shouldn't bother her man because he belongs to her now. And just a few years later, there was a version of this for the guys.
Make no mistake, she's mine.
That version would also chart.
He's mine, he's mine.
And this is her attempt at some kind of power ballad, and no, she doesn't got it. She cannot pull this off. I've seen Cher do this kind of thing, and she can very much pull it off. I also should mention that this is a duet with...
'Cause I don't wanna hear from my friend.
Kim Carnes, who wrote the song, and I gotta be honest, is wasting her talent here. I don't know, maybe that kick-ass cover of Betty Davis Eyes heightened my expectations a little bit much. But she also had another song of her own on the same chart. That would be Invitation to Dance. And this was pretty close to making the honorable mentions in my best list, but I had to cut it for time, so I'll just show it to you here. Didn't really go far, mostly because we had a bajillion songs in 1985 that sounded like this, but I wouldn't have minded living in the alternate dimension in which it caught on. But I digress.
'Cause I don't wanna close my eyes.
I can concede that there is a place in this world for songs about telling a jealous lover to fuck off, but this just doesn't hit. It's dull as dishwater, and when it tries not to be dull, it's still just dull. They're not even fighting over this guy.
He's mine, he's mine, he's mine.
Like, it doesn't sound like they're competing for the same person, like in The Girl Is Mine and The Boy Is Mine. It sounds like she just got her friend to gang up on you. He's mine! Yeah, he's mine! This is fucked up, make no mistake.
Anymore.
You got to hide it high. You got to jump and run.
Where's Tommy Shaw going after Kilroy is over?
Probably check into a hospital.
Yeah? Well, why does...
Alright, so Tommy Shaw decided he didn't like the weird robotic direction Styx was going and noped the fuck out as soon as he could. You know what? Good for him.
Kilroy, Righteous thinks it's over, but it's not.
Like, he was clearly not interested in bringing Dennis DeYoung's stupid vision to life. After enough paychecks, he decided to strike out on his own and make what he wanted to make. So let's hear it, Tommy. Let's see what you got now that you're free from the river Styx. Okay, he's doing a ballad. It's kinda blah. But maybe this is one of those songs where it sucks now, but eventually it's gonna rock.
Giving it all I had to give.
Yep. Any minute now. This song's gonna kick in and melt our faces off. Right about...
It's me who was the fool. It was me, baby,
Okay, this isn't very face melting. Come on, Tommy, you said you wanted to rock, so let's start over, okay? 1, 2, 3, rock!
And I've got to tell you now. I've got to show you how.
No? We're not gonna rock? Just gonna plod along? What even is this lonely school crap anyway?
Graduated lonely school.
I don't know, man. Sounds more like you flunked out of the School of Rock. This is what you left Styx to do? Really? That's pretty funny, because this sounds like something Dennis D. Young would make the rest of the band do. Speaking of which, he had a song of his own on the charts that week. And being honest, I really like that one. That's mostly because of the atmosphere. It really does sound like the desert at night. Yes, Dennis DeYoung made a better song than Tommy Shaw. I'm kinda shocked myself. Oh, a guitar solo? Wow. This is a letdown. Just a big pile of mush. I don't know. Maybe he should have tried to make some songs about robots. Oh, we'll be back to more crap after these 80s commercials.
A touch for making hair look beautiful takes years of practice. But when you perm at home, you can have that touch too, with Lilt. You see, it's all in the roll-ups. A bad roll-up shows frizzies. A good roll-up, beautiful curls. Only Lilt has these amazing sponges. They grip better, roll up better, for more beautiful hair. Lilt sponges put a professional touch right at your fingertips. And I had to practice for years.
Lilt's professional touch. Beautiful.
Mom, can a douche help you feel more confident? Massengill can, because when you feel fresh, you are more confident. And Massengill has this special design. It's easy to feel confident with Massengill freshness. Massengill freshness made easy.
I'd like to propose a toast to dinner.
Introducing the newest Le Menu dinners, like flounder with savory salmon mousse and tender chicken cordon bleu.
Here's to a superb dinner. And to the beautiful woman who had the taste to serve it.
There's always something special on the menu.
Man, commercials were so 80s back in the 80s, weren't they? Well, here we go. We're back now.
You got to hide it high. You got to jump and run. I can wait another day.
Great, another one of these dull slop songs. And this time, it's from a movie. Yay!
But another lonely night.
Well, that movie is Give My Regards to Broad Street, a fictional look at a day in the life of Paul McCartney that's also a mystery where some masters get stolen so he and Ringo Starr have to find them. I don't know. People tell me this movie is terrible and the only thing worth a damn is the soundtrack. Okay, if you say so.
No more lonely night.
I mean, I'm not really feeling this one, but the soundtrack is chock full of older Beatles and McCartney songs, which, well, you can't go wrong with that. What about any of the other originals? Are there any? Oh, there are. Okay, this one does rock, so yeah, I'd say the soundtrack is the only thing worth a shit. Just as long as I ignore the big single. It's just so bland, nondescript, snooze fest. Even when it picks up in the hook, I still feel nothing. Certainly doesn't make me want to watch a movie about Paul being Paul that somehow got turned into a Commodore 64 game. Yeah, that actually happened. That Band on the Run chiptune is pretty cool, but otherwise, why make a game out of this? As a certain fucking nerd would say, what were they thinking?
You got to hide
Well, we've gone through a lot of bland shit, and we are now at number 4. I promised you more 80s funny bad stuff, and we're gonna get it. Everyone, behold, the most blatantly 80s music video I have seen by far. Alright, I'm fairly certain no amount of commentary is going to do this justice, but I'm going to damn well try. What we're looking at is a video set in some big city where everything's made of cardboard like some kind of cheap stage play. We got this red-headed dork in a puke green getup with a bow tie. He looks way too much like a young Rick Astley. And he's looking out for his little brother who's out late being a bad boy.
What you doing up at the trees? You don't know, you better hang with me.
Oh man, that vest with no shirt. So macho. My personal favorite part of the video is when he's in the trash can. Just like Oscar the Grouch. I should say something about the song itself, but do I really need to?
Go and get him from off the block. I called
little brother, what you out here trying to discover?
No, I don't. That video is self-explanatory. He's trying to get his little brother back home so that mom and dad can ground him for, I don't know, doing things a little brother shouldn't do? What are those things? Well, he hangs around with kids who like to dress up as 80s celebs. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, wait, there's some beer and cigarettes. Ooh, okay, that's definitely something a little brother shouldn't do. At least not till they're 15.
Yeah, I was down, but I turned around, and that's why I'm still here, little brother. Yo, little brother.
Well, eventually they have a talk while he's doing some breakdancing, and they eventually go back home to their cardboard house. After a few whoopings with a cardboard spoon, they lived happily ever after, until they had to tear down the set for the next play.
Little brother, let's go home and rock with one another. You got to hide it high. You got to jump and run.
Hey guys, remember the time the guy from Led Zeppelin started a 50s rock group?
Come with me, my love.
Oh yeah, that happened and we let it hit the top 10. And I just want to say this before any lead heads come at me in the comments. That other song they had, I like that one. Got a nice rockin' groove to it. This one, I didn't even like the original version.
I want to tell you how.
I know it's a beloved classic, but it just never did anything for me. Too fluffy and light for my tastes. I certainly don't like it when filtered through Robert Plant's droning moan. No. This is just bleh. Sounds like he's holding down the effect button. Oh, and there's this one line that I just can't with. My pet? So is this a song I could sing to my cat? Do you remember when we met? Something, something, I knew you were my pet. Chasman's like, fuck this. Whatever. This is just an alright blah song made slightly more blah. Sorry, I'd rather be rocking at midnight.
You got to hide it high. You got to jump and run.
The year was 1985, and the world belonged to Bruce Springsteen. Born in the USA, both the single and the album are big sellers, and Bruce himself became yet another 80s staple. The boss was riding high. Naturally, this means there'd be people who would capitalize it, like, I don't know. That guy from General Hospital?
Started being a bother when he made the cover of Time magazine.
Well, it's kinda capitalizing. This charted in 1985, but it was actually written in 1978, which was another time period Bruce Springsteen was popular.
She called out a name, but it wasn't mine. She called me Bruce, Bruce.
And it's about how Rick Springsteen just keeps getting confused with Bruce Springfield.
He said, I thought Born to Run was one of your best. Oh, wait a minute, man.
And I'm just gonna read from what it says on Genius. Rick Springfield talks about piping this thought some random guy he met on the street and his mom till they stopped confusing him with Bruce Springsteen, I guess. Now that's just perfect. That's the kind of low-effort shitpost description that this shitpost of a song deserves.
I can hear him. My name is Richard, gonna hit you to your babe.
I mean, that's literally all you need to know. That's the joke. Rick Springfield and Bruce Springsteen are the same person. It's a conspiracy. How come they're never in the same room together? Who cares? It's just a joke. A bad joke, but still a joke.
I swear I heard her say, bye-bye, Bruce.
Well, if you love that distinct brand of ridiculousness that can only come from the 80s, I hope these last 3 entries were to your liking. They definitely were to mine. But before we get to the worst one, I don't have a lot of dishonorable mentions, so let's just speed run through them all. This is also a pretty ridiculous, funny, bad video. It's not on the list because there's an adorable golden retriever in it. Aw, look at the doggo. Oh, David Lee Roth, you really are the Mike Love of Van Halen, probably. We? Dude, you look older than I am right now. And I'm old. Come to think of it, he looks a bit like Dennis DeYoung, who also does not look young. Sugar Walls. People come up with such cute names for the vajayjay. Shit sucks.
I just called to say I love you.
I could see how cute this is, just calling to say I love you for no real reason. But nah, I gotta agree with Barry the record store clerk.
Can I have it then?
No, you can't.
Why not?
Well, it's sentimental, tacky crap. That's why not. Do we look like the kind of store that sells I just called to say I love you? Go to the mall.
What's your problem?
Do you even know your daughter? There's no way she likes that song. Oh, is she in a coma?
Breaking Hearts wasn't his best album of the 80s, but at least it wasn't his worst. This is more of a low-rent Bon Jovi than anything. And yeah, that's about it. And I'm sure a lot of you have probably just already guessed what's coming. Oh, let's play the bumper now.
You got the hidey, hidey, hide. The old man is down the road. You know our love was meant to be.
Of course this would top the worst list. And I did debate whether or not to go with the obvious. But having gone through that chart with all the 80s kitsch and boring crap on it, this was the only song that made me feel like I was wasting my time.
Baby, you're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration.
You know, it's funny. For all the times I bring up this song in particular, even having a cover of it on another one of my worst lists, I barely have much to really say about the song itself. And yet, that's kind of the reason why it's up here. At least those other songs had something about them. This just has nothing. If Emptiness had a sound, it would be You're the Inspiration by Chicago. But there's another reason why it tops this list. This was the first Chicago song I ever listened to that made me ask that burning question. What happened to you guys? Didn't you used to be cool? Didn't they used to give a shit? 25 or 6 to 4? Saturday in the Park? If You Leave Me Now? Okay, that was a little grating, but at least it was something. This is just some generic, easy listening schlock production and lyrics that sounded like they were digging through the Hallmark dumpsters for whatever ideas they threw out. You're the meaning. You're the inspiration. Gee, thanks. It's great to know that I can inspire you to make such uninspired crap. And much like how Hard to Say I'm Sorry brought them into the wuss music era, this firmly cemented them as wuss music. From this point on, they would truly never be the same again. This was released as a single on October 31st, 1984. How fitting. Halloween, the night Chicago really died.